Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw Bowser Jr. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height. Let's draw a couple of small marks. That'll be the height of the circle. And then on the sides, make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. And sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. Now inside, let's draw a curved horizontal line for a construction guide. And this line will help you place the facial features later. And curve the line around the circumference of the circle and place it close to the center of the circle. And then draw a curved vertical line for another construction guide. And now let's draw the lower section of the head. So first make a small mark below the head just to indicate where the lower section of the head will be. Don't draw this mark too far down. And then on the sides of the head, make a couple of small marks again, because the lower section of his head is wider than the top. So about there, not too far off. And then just connect the marks again using curved lines to create the lower section of the head. And at the top, curve the lines up toward the horizontal construction guide. So use curved lines to create this long curved shape. And those are the guides for the head. Now let's move on to the body, and the body is made up of a big circle. So just like before, make a couple of small marks. And this circle should be about as big as the entire head. So just measure it and then add a couple of small marks on the sides as well. And then connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape. It's a big circular shape, and don't overlap the head as you draw this shape. And at the bottom, let's draw the guide for the first leg. So on the left side, let's start with that leg. Let's draw a curved line. And then draw another curved line farther up on the body and curve the line down. So two long curved lines. Now close off the shape at the bottom. Don't close it off too far down with a horizontal line, and extend the line to the left to create the shape of the foot. And then at the top, draw a curved line for the top part of the foot. And to the right, draw another shape that is similar as a guide for the other leg. So try to imagine or you can draw it too. You can draw a horizontal line so that they line up the feet at the bottom, and then draw the top part of the leg as a curved line. He's sort of squatting down, so curve the shapes like that, and then add the foot as a half circle. And then add the arm on the left by drawing a curved line starting on the side of the head. He's sort of hunching over, so the line is going to start on the side of the head, and then draw another line below that to give the arm some thickness. And then draw a circle for his fist, and we can draw the circle using the 4 marks method too. So first make a couple of marks for the circle's height, and then a couple of marks for the circle's width, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. And on the right side, draw a similar shape for the other arm. So this arm is going to curve it to the right. And then at the end, draw a circular shape too. And you can use the 4 marks method or just lightly sketch a circle. And when you get the shape right, darken it. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, draw a curved horizontal line for the top part of the muzzle. So just above the horizontal construction guide, make a small mark right on the vertical guide, and then extend the mark sideways to create the top part of the muzzle. And then darken the line, sketch it lightly at first, and when you get the shape right, darken the line. And then on the sides, draw a line that curves up for the rest of it. And the same thing on the right along the horizontal construction guide. And now draw the eyes on top of this line or on top of this shape as short or small circles, and sketch lightly at first, and draw the other one on the other side with another small circle. And when you get the shape right, darken the lines. And inside, draw a big circle for the pupils, or for the first pupil, and then another circle for the other pupil. And then add tiny circles inside for highlights. And you can shade in the pupils, but don't overlap the tiny highlight circle. And above the eyes, draw a couple of rectangular shapes for the eyebrows. So first draw a sloping line on the eye on the left, and then another sloping line to make the shape of the eyebrow thicker. And then close off the shape at the top with a shorter line. And do the same thing to the eye on the right, a couple of sloping lines. And then close off the shape at the top. This time use a curved line because the eyebrow is sort of curving around the head. So draw a curved line at the top and a couple of sloping lines for the bottom of the eyebrow. And draw the nose as 2 small thin shapes. They sort of look like seeds. And now let's draw the bandana that he has over his face. Sort of looks like it's a piece of fabric. It's a bandana, a bib, whatever you want to call it, but it's a piece of fabric that goes over his face and it's covering the bottom half of his face. So draw a long curved horizontal line so that it looks like it's contouring to the shape of his round face. And then darken the sides of the initial guides for the sides of the bandana. And at the bottom, draw a couple of sloping lines for the bottom tip of this piece of fabric. And the bottom half is should be similar to the letter V, but curve the lines slightly just to make the fabric flow a bit. And now darken the top part of the initial circle to create the head. And now he needs the top part of the hair. And first draw a rectangular shape for the section that holds the hair together. And then higher up, draw a big circular shape or a big curved shape for the actual hair. And don't draw every individual hair strand, just draw the the sections of hair as big clumps of hair. So here's the big top edge of the clump of hair, and then it curves down on the side. So draw a curved line on the side and then finish the shape back to the rectangular shape at the bottom. And you can add a couple of small triangular shapes too for the tips of the hair. And the hair is falling backward, so at the bottom draw a couple of angled lines too. Now he has small horns. They're not as big as Bowser's, but he has a couple of small horns, so just draw triangular shapes on the side of the head for one of the horns. And the other horn is pretty much blocked by the eyebrow and the turn of the head, so you can leave that one out. And now the bandana is tied up on the back. So let's draw a curved line for the knot on the bandana and a couple of curved lines for the tips of the knot on the bandana. And now let's draw the big smile or the big mouth on the fabric. So first draw a curved line. It seems that he drew a big mouth looking shape directly onto the fabric. So draw a big sort of triangular shape for the look of the open mouth on the drawing that he made, I assume. And then draw another triangular shape for the actual opening of the mouth. And inside, draw big triangular shapes for the teeth inside this fake mouth. These lines don't have to be exact, just as long as they look like teeth, the big triangular shapes, I think it works. And now let's move on to the body. Now darken the lines on the left for the first arm. And before you get to the bottom of the arm, draw a couple of sloping lines for the wristband that he wears. And it's mainly a rectangular shape that's sort of tilted. And that's the first wristband. And then draw the shape of the hand along the shape of the circle. So let's draw the first finger at the bottom. This would be the thumb. So draw a curved line and sketch lightly at first, but draw a curved line for the thumb. And then draw a circular shape for the inside portion of the hand. And then another curved line for the first finger. And then curve this shape up for the knuckle. And connect the finger to the top of the hand. And on the side, draw a similar shape as this first finger, just slightly lower, for another finger. And then the third finger will be inside the opening of the hand, like so. And on the tip of the fingers, draw small triangular shapes for the nails, or the claws. And now draw this arm the same way, but let's start with the hand this time. So at the top, this hand is going to be pointing forward more than the other one. So at the top, draw a curved line for the first finger. And then on the tip of the line, draw a small triangular shape for the claw. And sketch lightly at first, and only darken the lines once you get the shapes right. So that's the first finger, and then draw the other finger along the path of the initial guide of the small circle. So first draw another curved line at the bottom, similar to the letter C, and then connect it to the finger at the top, and sketch lightly at first because you have to add the claw at the bottom as a small triangular shape, and then darken the shape of the finger. And draw the bottommost finger the same way. First lightly sketch a curved line, add the claw at the bottom, and then darken the shape of the finger. And the thumb is basically the same thing, just draw a curved line, sort of similar to a half circle, and then add the triangular shape for the claw. And then you close off the shape at the top using sort of angular lines, and at the bottom make the palm on the hand. Draw this palm on the hand higher up than the initial circle, and draw a short line inside for a crease, and above that draw a sloping line for the wristband. And then darken the lines for the rest of the arm. And now let's darken the path of the initial circle to create the front of the body. And draw another line on the side because you can see a bit of his shell peeking from behind. Draw a couple of lines on the sides. And inside the shape, draw a couple of long curved lines that follow the path of the initial circle for the front part of the shell. And darken the bottom of the circle. And then add a couple of lines. You don't have to draw the whole lines, just a couple of indications that there are creases on this shape in front of the body. And now darken the shape on the left for the first leg, and at the tip draw a triangular shape for the first claw. And then right next to it, draw another small triangular shape for the other claw. And slightly farther to the right, the same thing. A small triangular shape for another claw. And then curve the shapes for the toes. And darken the shape at the bottom to finish the foot. And do the same thing to the shapes on the right, and at the tip draw a small triangular shape for the first claw, and right next to it another triangular shape for the other claw, and a last triangular shape. And you can see a bit of the tail from this angle, so just draw a curved line at the bottom. You can't see the tip of the tail, but you can see the base of it. And then just darken the lines so that they're a bit more clean and less sketchy. And that's it for Bowser Jr. Now go over the final lines with permanent ink, erase the guides, and color your drawing. The next few steps are sped up, but make sure that you go over your final lines slowly and carefully to avoid any accidents. For more tutorials like this one, please visit easydrawingtutorials.com. Let me know in the comments if you want me to draw other Nintendo characters. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.